Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sonic Frontiers. We're pretty far along on filling out this island.
What did the black things on the map, like the little black dots on the map, mean?
Which little black dots?
Like the ones that were like all over the place.
Some of them point you to places where you can get memory tokens. Some of them point you to places where you can get the optional cutscenes. You can try to empty the map out of icons, but whenever you get one of the memory tokens, you're going to... I want to pick up that medal. Cutscene, go away. Thank you. But whenever you get one of the star showers, it's gonna respawn all of the icons anyway.
Well, that just means you have to do all of them in one.
Shark.
Shark. Hi. Didn't we already kill this guy?
Yeah.
I think Lewis killed it once and ignored it the other times.
Please don't say you're going to fight it again.
How many sharks are there?
I am going to fight this one. It's in my way.
They respawn after a time.
I think this is.
They don't respawn when. Oh, we did get one of the thingies.
Well, everything respawns when you get the star shower.
I think this is the only one that I'm going to fight, though.
No, you fought the other one.
I mean, I think this is the only one that I'm going to fight, like, for the rest of the playthrough.
Oh.
Does this guy show up on other islands?
No, just here.
Yeah, there are a few mini bosses that have like recurring versions of themselves that appear on later islands. There are actually like 3 versions of the goddamn tower on the final island. It's weird.
There's 3 versions of like the Shinobi one too.
Oh yeah, there is Master Ninja and Kunoichi.
Kunoichi, yeah.
It's okay.
Please say you're strong enough to one-cycle it.
I was hoping I was. Like, I really...
Oh, that means no.
I really seriously thought I had enough, like, power, but I just barely didn't... Also,
because you
like...
whiffed.
Also, yeah, I whiffed on some of the combos. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Almost there. Almost there. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, if you had hit there, you would have gotten it.
I didn't think to at the time, but maybe a quick Psyloop would have stopped him from diving back underground. I don't know. I should try that.
How does the Psyloop feel to do? Because I noticed it
fine.
does slow you down a lot. I just don't
It
know
doesn't.
how...
It doesn't actually slow you down. I just intentionally let go of the boost because it's easier to draw a circle that way.
That seems fair. Yeah.
Like, you can boost through a Psyloop if you're good, but a lot of the time that just results in me... Oh, damn it. That just results in me not being able to close the circle properly because I ran in too wide a circle, you know? The Psyloop is as good to use as you are good at drawing it under pressure, basically. You might want to tweak your turn handling in the options menu if it feels a little off, but other than that...
How long did it take for you guys to find a control scheme that you like in this?
Not long.
Not long. So when I originally played this, I chose the action style because I wanted to see what they meant by that, and by that means they're just cutting everything in half. But
high-speed style and action style is such a weird way of saying slow and fast.
yeah, it really is. But when I first started playing it for myself, I cranked up everything to max, and that's my preferred way of playing it. My only sort of critique that I have across the board for Sonic's control is that his ground movement when you're not running is a little too snappy for my liking. It's not Sonic 06 bad, but there's no wind up to it. It kind of just goes from 0 to 30, like on a moment's notice without hitting
Oh, you
boost.
mean the acceleration?
The acceleration,
That's
yeah. It's
another
like,
option that you can tweak, actually.
yeah, but I'm saying like I feel like no matter how you tweak it, it's always that snappy in some regard. It's still good though. Like I want to say, like it's miles better than any sort of default boost movement he had beforehand.
Yeah, but it's still not quite as smooth as Sonic Adventure 1's. You start at a light jog and work your way up to a
SA1 or SA2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate beating that dead horse, but I'm still waiting for a 3D Sonic game to have as good as ground control as the first 2 adventure games.
That isn't a fan game.
That isn't a fan game,
Yeah.
right?
Because it can be done, God damn it. Sonic GT did it, like, actually better than the adventure games did it. And, like, I'm waiting for Sega to catch up. Or to at least say hi to this man. But
Sage, if it doesn't matter whether or not Sonic knows, then by that logic, it doesn't hurt you to tell him.
Again, she can't because she is not authorized to.
Well, then say that.
No, because that's helping the enemy.
I mean, if she were to tell that to the enemy, she would be giving them information by default. That's just, how that works. But
I don't know. The character is just frustrating me currently. Like, just because it's the entire, like, there's so many conversations where it's just, tell me what's going on. I can't. And then bye. And then that's it.
To be fair, that's the point, because Sonic is also getting irritated at that,
you know what, though? Computers are inherently frustrating because they can't ever do anything that they're instructed not to do. That's just how that works.
I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11.
The secret to beating this enemy in one pass is to wait for it to start shooting its electrical thing before you switch rails. Because then you won't have to, switch rails again to avoid it. It stays on the rail, but only for the first pass. The second, if you end up having to do the grind rail thing a second time, the pattern to avoid gets more complex.
Yeah, it's kind of like a second round.
Yeah. All of the mini bosses have that
the
sort
black.
of like,
okay, so the black icons that have like the little circle and then like a box next to the.
Those are Knuckles memory tokens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were hearts in the first island because that's what Amy's tokens were.
Oh, they're shaped like medals. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Harder to tell when they're in black, and also when I have my screen not full screen.
Yeah. God damn it. You have to, like, use the camera to lock onto the specific target you want, and, like, this is the only enemy in the game where that is an actual legitimate problem. Wow, did you see that entire spiral of architecture in the sky just appear piece by piece? Not even all at once, but block by block as you get closer to it.
It's so weird how that one thing takes you so out of the game, because like there are other games with technical graphical, you're not supposed to be able to do that, technical or graphical issues, like a game where like the frame rate occasionally stutters a little bit, or maybe like there's some texture pop in or whatever, and I've never been taken out of what's been going on as much as what's going on here with the pop-in.
It doesn't help that it's because it's Sonic and he's so fast.
Breath of the Wild
That's
has that issue where certain things don't appear until you're close to them, but the specific things that they tie to that graphical pop-in aren't as omnipresent in the game world as the rails and the platforms in the sky are here.
Well, even then, if I remember correctly, in Breath of the Wild, things fade into view.
Yeah.
They don't pop into view unless you're deliberately like breaking the physics.
Well, sometimes they pop up in the sense that they start like as miniature models and they spring into existence. But
which is how it should be done.
Yeah, but they don't. But they it still does take you out a little bit of it when a frickin' Hinox
a little bit
just inflates like a balloon in front of you, but. But like it's still not as abrupt as pop-in. So
I think by default things should fade into view.
Oh no, I've made it out of bounds. This is not where I'm supposed to be. Do you know why? Because this is the boss arena.
I was gonna say though that like, oh, the way that those rails look, that looks fine. And it's probably because those are set up to be different types of architecture than the normal rings, the normal rails.
Which means if Lewis went into the loading zone here, he could skip all the rest of the game.
Yeah.
The rest of the island.
The actual space that you need to step on to trigger the boss is maddeningly precise. You're not going to find it by accident unless you're looking for it.
Or you're unlucky, or lucky if you, depending on.
Well, it's also just kind of in an obscure place that you're not going to naturally go to.
This is where you realize, oh shit, I'm not supposed to be here.
I've made a terrible mistake.
So let's say, for example, that you trigger the boss here. What happens if you come back? Like, can you still like collect tokens and continue the game like normal?
Well, I mean, you can revisit the island after you finish it to
Yeah, but does like the island?
I think he
act
means
you
like what happened.
Haven't beat it.
Will the emeralds be considered collected? What happens to the story cutscenes and shit?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Anyway,
And neither do I.
I didn't realize at the time that I had found my way to the boss arena, so I just kind of thoughtlessly
Yeah, that was weird.
fell off the cliff in search of other things. But I accidentally found my way there again later on.
I think it's your mind just telling you to move on.
I wandered around for like 10 minutes. I edited it out, but I wandered around 10 minutes looking for something, anything to do there. But I couldn't find anything, and it was weird. Weird as hell.
Does the game ever get too fast? Because I've noticed here that you're deliberately not boosting to make sure that you can go through these.
The game, like if you're boosting pell-mell, you can sometimes find yourself going too fast for the things the game expects you to do. But it's usually not hard to moderate your speed, so you can get stuff done.
Okay. And you said that you can turn your speed down in the options anyway.
One of the aspects of that is a bit jank, though, because Sonic will straight up stop on a dime if you stop boosting and don't hold the analog stick. There's no slip and slide or anything of that nature.
So if you're boosting without holding the analog stick and then you just stop boosting, you just stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a bit jank. It doesn't feel nice, but it's easy to stop if you want to. The problem with it is, because I'm so used to speed carrying for a little bit in a Sonic game after I let go of the analog stick, sometimes I stop without meaning to.
It's weird, though, that a lot of Sonic games don't have... As far as I can remember, there's never really been like a break button for Sonic in anything.
Well, I mean, backwards always serve that purpose.
In 2D games, sure, yes, but in 3D games, that's a little bit more like awkward to just like suddenly press backwards and
A little bit, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that would actually make Sonic Control better or worse. For the record, I'm not a game to. Oh, this is neat. This is like one of the first times you've actually gone inside something.
This is I wanted more of this.
This shit reminds me of that big ass temple from Breath of the Wild.
I thought you were gonna say Tomb Raider.
No. There's this big underground temple in one corner of Breath of the Wild that's tied in with the whole mysterious Zonai plot, but like, you have to go there to get the wild armor once you've gotten all of the shrines completed.
Oh, I hate that place. Is that the place where there's like a million?
There's like a million guardians that shoot lasers at you. Yeah,
fuck that place.
But like, it's this big underground temple tunnel, and it's like a sudden dose of adventure in the middle of the wilderness that you won't even know it's there because you have to approach it from a specific direction to find the entrance.
Yeah, finding that kind of stuff is always cool in these sorts of games. That and also like the mazes in Breath of the Wild are a good example. Oh, hi, Big.
Yeah.
Also in Pokemon, I just found an area where there was like an underpass underneath where there was a plane on top, and there were like big rock structures. That was kind of cool. Are the water graphics freaking out because this is cyberspace, or because it's how the game actually is?
The answer is both yes and no. Okay. Clownfish, yeah.
We found Nemo. Good job, guys. We did it. We saved the world.
Yay.
It's only worth 2 tokens, though. Lame.
So doing this is literally the fastest way to get everything you need in the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, more specifically on Islands 3 and 5. Because, right now, we're still on only a ×2
Coelacanth, that
versus
thing's
payout.
obnoxious to get. No way that you get that easy.
But, on Islands 1 and 2, I would say it still takes a decent amount of time to get anything just by fishing for it. Because you don't have as many tokens to spend, but you also, spend less tokens per fishing attempt and you get less out of it. So, it takes a while. That having been said, once you get to Island 3, the economy sort of breaks, and then you get to Island 5, and it's just like, what's an economy? I don't.
Just finish the game.
I'm surprised you're not buying the egg memos because you said that those were so good.
Oh no, I'm not buying them with tokens because they cost 15 apiece. So I'm getting the egg memos with the golden tickets as I collect those, just by happenstance. There's more. I'm gonna spend more than enough time fishing to get all of the egg memos by the end of the game. It's really not something you have to spend much time trying to do.
Oh, but theoretically, you could get all of them on the first island if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get anything from this goddamn shop, even like experience points if you want. You want to max out your skills right away? Go fish.
I mean, I don't think you should be buying skill points in Big Shop.
Why is there a fishing minigame in this game? I'm still so confused.
Because memes. I don't know.
Memes? Sure, that's a better answer than I would have expected. All right, I'm good with that.
People see Big the Cat as inherently funny because everyone hated him. So seeing him back in a game,
Everyone hated his gameplay. I think there was always a fondness for the character, but
What?
I mean, a lot of people thought he was like, "Oh, I'm the stupid character," and you have to remember this was the 2000s, so like, saying like that this character's the R word was still like acceptable, even though it shouldn't have been.
But I don't know. I think folks were conflating the two together. Not necessarily on the character himself. It's just more like the gameplay that served no function outside of just fishing.
Yeah.
That sort of
It
thing.
was a really bad demo for Sega Bass Fishing.
Is Sega Bass Fishing good? Is it like a good game?
I don't know. Never
Oh,
played it.
you have to do the middle one once and the right one twice and the left one three times.
No, it's 1, 2,
No,
3.
it's 1, 2, 3.
The
Yeah.
challenge for these stupid things is figuring out where 1, 2, and 3 are. Because it could be in either direction. And there's another one later on where I swear to God, I can't figure out what order I'm supposed to be doing this fucking things in because it's got 5 of them. And, the one that I would think is number 1 isn't number 1. But the other one I think was number 1 isn't number 1 either. And it's just like, okay, which way am I doing this? I don't get it. And it's not like a good puzzle in the sense that it makes you think about how to solve the puzzle. It's more like, I know how this means me to solve the puzzle, but it's also not communicating to me which button is which number,
Okay, so I'm thinking about stuff like this. The things that these are most reminiscent of. Welcome to the Breath of the Wild commentary starring Sonic. Is like in Breath of the Wild, there were the things where like the Koroks where like you had to like drop the apple into the pot in order to get the thing. Like, I didn't realize for a long time playing the game that you could get a Korok by doing that. I was always just like, ooh, free apples, and I just take them.
It's not always just an apple either. Sometimes it's something like a rusty shield or something. So those can be a bit difficult.
Thank you, by the way.
But like the puzzles in Breath of the Wild are generally designed in a pretty good way. For example, those circles of stones where you have to drop a stone into a specific place to complete the pattern? The stone you need is always in the direction that the gap is pointed at. So if you
really?
So if there's a gap that is like positioned to the northwest of a circle of stones, you go exploring in that general direction, you will find a stone without fail.
I never noticed that. That's cool.
My point is that they're thoughtful about how they arrange things in that game. So, the player should theoretically never be put out for too long trying to figure out how to fix things unless they just missed a trick. But okay, with something like these switch puzzles, specifically the one that has 5 switch torch things, I've never been able to figure out exactly which ones correspond to which number in the combination. So I just wind up brute forcing it until I get it. And then when I play the game again, I still don't know which ones are which ones, so I wind up brute forcing it every time, and that's just a bit weird, you know?
I can't wait for the comments to be like, "No, Lewis, you idiot! It's this one," and then you'll be like, "Okay, but I explained why." No, you're wrong.
I don't think anyone's going to be like that with this particular puzzle. It's not a particularly good or interesting puzzle. It's just a...
You're right in that, like, it's not something that anybody should, like, be defensive about. But I think you might be underestimating the amount that people just like being argumentative on the internet.
I haven't seen particularly much in the way of like specific fondness for the map puzzles in this game. They just seem to exist for most people.
It's weird because they're like a pretty large majority of the gameplay. Are these like little map things, like these little, like, not necessarily always the puzzles, but like, do this rail thing, you get a memory token. Do this puzzle, you get a seed. Like, that's the whole gameplay loop.
Yeah, kind of. It's just like some of them are good, some of them are just there. I don't really think there are any bad ones, exactly. There's nothing that made me lament playing the game at all.
Well, like, again, but the idea is that you do the ones that you find enjoyable, and then you move on. The problem is if it's your first time, you don't exactly know which ones are enjoyable.
With the map challenges, you're generally going to do all of them because the map is kind of useless unless you fill it all in.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people who don't care about map completion. Like, they will just do it along the way, but are more interested in getting portal gears or vault keys for the emeralds, not necessarily map completion.
Well, I kind of get that.
I'm not one of those players. I have to see that number go up.
I don't necessarily mean the map completion number. I just mean because of the way the map challenges work, they fill in like a scattered selection of nearby squares, but they don't fill in a contiguous area most of the time. They kind of just fill in a bunch of the squares nearby and some of the icons that are connected to those squares. So you need to do like basically all of the map challenges in a specific side of the map to get that side of the map filled in so that you can see where everything is. And I don't see, like, I can see some people wanting to just navigate by eye, but only some people. And I get the feeling that's more of a thing that people are going to do, like, in their third or second playthrough, you know? I don't really see it as something that people are going to do often just for the hell of it. Why am I doing this challenge again? Or is this a
because you
different one?
fell the first time.
Well,
You
no,
fell down the first time. Yeah.
But he got up top anyway and got the shortcut, so there's really no reason to do this
I think he probably just forgot.
I don't think
Probably.
he got the emerald, though. I think he didn't have enough things.
I didn't get the emerald, but I activated the switch that lets you get to the emerald faster.
Oh, yeah, then
Yeah.
you could have done the shortcut, yeah.
I think he just forgot.
Yeah, I think I forgot. Or I
It's
was
a neat
Or
looking
maybe,
platform
or maybe you decided, no, I'm gonna give it another shot because you didn't complete it the first time. You fell down.
yeah,
and you got
maybe,
there a second.
Maybe
way.
I just felt like doing the platforming. I don't know.
Yeah, or I'm padding out game time to get more ad revenue.
Oh yeah, the extra.
Yeah, but people have to watch the extra minutes you make in order for that to matter.
Like, people actually watch these videos. It's probably on a tab open somewhere and not even listening. Look, you just missed a thing that I did. I just did a cool thing on the screen. You missed it. Too late, Jerry.
Wow,
And don't bother
Sonic
backtracking
just
the
got
video.
actual laid. There's pornography in this E-rated video game. Wow, you're missing the good stuff.
The extra 10.5 cents that we make off of that ad revenue is going to be worth so much when it's split 4 ways.
Yo, man, that
What the hell is a quarter of a cent?
yeah, that 2.7 cents, like, damn, that's gonna do a lot.
It's the difference between paying my rent and not paying my rent, damn it.
I mean, if you're exactly 2.7 cents behind on your rent, then sure. You are correct.
Okay. You see, this is what I mean. I never know when these goddamn cutscenes are going to trigger. I like this scene between Sage and Eggman, though, because Eggman actually, like compliments Sonic, and Sage is actually confused by this, and she actually has to ask him. I like also, he said the thing. He said the thing. Did you not notice that he said the thing? Rejoice.
Your genius, his skill.
All right, well.
And then we're not gonna elaborate. Okay, cool.
She'll elaborate later.
Yeah.
Just not now.
Can you like skip cutscenes in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually did. I did so accidentally one time. I was like, oh, fuck me, dude. I gotta reset.
Okay. Now that I think about it, the line "I hate that hedgehog" is something that Ian Flynn's writing in particular has referenced multiple times across the comics.
Do you get the drowny music?
You
if
see,
drown?
you say, "Oh, I hate that hedgehog." I think of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, yeah, that's where the line.
Not necessarily the comic.
That's where the line comes from, but he's referenced the line in the comics a couple times. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
They're like not allowed to reference specific memes, right? Like the penis one.
They can't reference Pingus, I believe, anymore now. He did once, but
he did once, but it was but it was specifically when Eggman was going crazy.
There, he was talking to Sniffly. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the Pingus meme that he referenced.
No.
It was the line it comes from, because people will people will recognize snooping as usual.
Sorry, I had a thought and it's like it's gone.
Your mind was full of Pingus.
Yeah. Does Knuckles? So I know that there are mandatory Knuckles flashbacks and non-mandatory Knuckles flashbacks. Is like Knuckles just in two different spots at the same time, or?
Well, all of the characters that have side stories are always just waiting in all of the places that have available side stories at once. But he's only ever in one main plot location at a time.
Okay, but so Knuckles will be standing in 4 different spots at the same time. Well, why can't you do more shit like that, though? Like, this is like the game where I feel like you should be able to spin dash jump or boost jump.
Well, that's because, and this is something
Oblivion.
that the official YouTube channel Strategy Videos points out. But rail launching is one of the places where they deliberately left the physics on. So you can jump off a rail and keep all your
Wait, you just went
momentum and
sparkly.
distance.
Why'd you go sparkly?
That would be because I hit a piece of terrain and it launched me up like a trip ramp. That's going to happen. That's going to happen a lot on Island.
It happens a lot.
It happens a lot on Island 3 because the terrain on Island 3 is pretty rough. And you keep hitting rocks and going flying into the sky on Island 3. It's ridiculous. Island 3 is the least polished island of the game. In general, I feel like they were running out of time by the time they were making Island 3. So the terrain is prone to launching you into the sky at a moment's notice, and there are a lot of the obstacle courses on Island 3 lock you into 2D platforming sections, presumably because they found those the easiest to design.
Is Island 3 the one people like the least, then?
Generally speaking, yes.
I like Island 3 aesthetically, and I like Island 3's idea for a design structure because it's not as open as the other two. It's more divided between smaller islands that you have to navigate between. But to get that sort of thing working, it needs more time in the oven to fine-tune all the navigational complexity that they're trying to work into it. So it's also like really rough.
This game has a roadmap for this year. Do you think they're also going to take the time to work out the kinks and like the general gameplay?
I don't think that's something that you could do just through patches because a lot of this is baked into the way the geometry of the levels is designed. They might quietly release some performance patches. Who knows? So maybe the pop-in will be less of a problem a year from now. Possibly.
So they're planning free updates. So Jukebox Photo Mode, new challenge modes, Sonic's Birthday, whatever the hell that means, Open Zone Challenge, new Coco, again, whatever that means, and then the new playable characters and new story.
You know, the most confusing thing about that update roadmap is the new Coco thing, because, like, okay, we get more... do we get, like... What does that mean? Does that mean, like, new challenges that let you collect
There's
Coco?
an entire new Coco type you have to collect specifically for one stat that can be leveled up to level 99, and you have to collect 50 billion of them in order to level up that stat. And no, you cannot level up multiple times at once.
It's got to be one at a time.
And you can't buy them through fishing.
God
But
damn
what
it.
does new cocoa mean, though? Are we getting like new things to collect cocoa from? Are we getting more treasure chests that make collecting cocoa manually less of a chore? Or are we just getting new cocoa models that give us something new cute to look at when we're in an idle pose? I don't know why.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean or what we're supposed to be excited for, but the marketing fail is beautiful.
I mean, the idea that they even have a roadmap at all, I think, is pretty exciting. But it's just one of those things where we have to wait and see.
It's honestly the one that they're clearly trying to bill as like a huge selling feature is being able to play as Sonic, Tails, Amy, and implied Sage.
If that's even, yeah, like, see, that's the thing. Like, I would not be surprised if they pull a Jubei and it's actually not Tails, Knuckles, or Amy. It's actually just Sage.
Well, I mean, playing as Sage would be thematically appropriate because,
like, I mean, it would be neat, but like they're pretty clearly implying that you can play as Sonic, as Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in that image that they posted.
Yeah, and you know they did say characters plural, so even if Sage is playable,
Yeah.
it's not just Sage. But
Sage and Sage 2.
I'm wondering what the context of it'll be. If it's just like linear stages or something, I don't know.
I'm thinking it's going to be happening as Sonic's adventure is happening. Like, what are the characters doing in cyberspace?
Oh yeah,
while Sonic is doing a Sonic thing.
We get episode Amy, where she jumps off of a train and has a misadventure, and then comes back and she's got and her eyesight has been taken, so she has to wear these cool shades. And I'm thinking of the wrong game. I'm sorry.
What are you referencing?
You never played episode Ignis or episode Prompto or those things?
For 15? No, I've not.
Yeah, it's like the most transparent DLC scheme ever. They have the characters disappear for like an hour or two during the game, and then they come back, and all this shit happened just off screen to the left.
Where'd you go? Somewhere.
And then you find out what happened when you play their episode, see?
Is it satisfying playing the episode and figuring out what happened?
Kind of, because the characters play differently than Noctis does, but it's really clunky in its narrative implementation.
I'm hoping it's not as disappointing as, like, say, Friends to the End DLC from Shantae.
Friends to the End was disappointing, not necessarily because it's disappointing because it had to be compared to Risky Mode, which was awesome. And Friends to the End was lame because we wanted a mode where we played as Bolo and a mode where we played as Roddy Tops and a mode we played as Sky. And we instead got Sonic Heroes, and it wasn't as fun.
It was also a self-contained side thing.
Yeah. I mean,
so.
I don't get what the point of having them be extra playable characters in this game and not have them in the main point of the game, which is these open worlds.
Yeah. I mean, like, even in Final Fantasy 15's case, eventually they patched in the ability to just switch over to Prompto, Ignis, and Gladiolus in the main game as party members, so you could play as them there. Prompto broke the game in two, and Ignis and Gladiolus were hard mode, but, like, it was a thing that you can do. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of people want, and again, Sonic fans, and they're being like, oh, we hate shitty friends, and oh, we actually love shitty friends. But the part of the reason why people want, like, this is the kind of game where people want to be able to play as multiple different characters because it's open, and so you can explore these existing environments in new ways.
Also, I feel like the characters would give the combat system a little bit more to mess around with, because, like, Amy's got her hammer, right? So you can do all kinds of fun stuff with the hammer. Knuckles, everyone's been saying they should have used Knuckles instead of the stupid werehog shit for action gameplay ever since they did that.
I just like the idea of climbing all this shit as Knuckles. Like,
Knuckles would break that game in half if he could climb and glide. Tails would also break the game if you could just fucking fly. And Amy would be hard mode, so it is like...
They'll probably break his legs, though, again, and put him in the mech.
Poor Tails. Every time he wants to do something fun, he forgets to pay his loan sharks and they break his legs.
But I tell you what my main expectation is, if they add Tails, Knuckles, and Amy to the open world, I'm expecting them to overlay the entire open zone with a completely different arrangement of copy paste obstacle courses in the sky that cater to their specific movesets.
Team Attack Amiga.
Yeah,